and grab your smokes. News and weather, music and jokes. See on the porch in my favorite house coat, it's the Sarah Beth Terry Show. She's a feral Christian out in the wild, the cigarette mom with a queen bee style, talking or singing about somebody you know. It's the Sarah Beth Terry, the Sarah Beth Terry, it's the Sarah Beth Terry Show. I'm Sarah Beth Terry, and you're not.
Oh, good evening. It's 8 o'clock and welcome to the Porch. I'm Sarah Beth Terry, your host for another fun edition of Cigarette Mom on this Monday, July the 6th, 2026. Does anybody else feel like it's like a Tuesday instead? Because I have been off all day. And I think it's because Saturday, I realized that it was 40 days until my 43rd birthday. Now, I'm big on using that 40. Like there was 40 days in the wilderness and 40 days that it rained and, 40 days of Lent, whatnot. I want to borrow that. So I did. So this is the 40 days of the Porch Glow Up. Consciously over the next 40 days until my 43rd birthday, I am actively and intentionally and consciously convicting doing some things. I am going to the gym. I am walking. I am eating better. I am drinking my water. And I'm going to be a better version of myself by my birthday. So that's the plan. Wellness check on Mitch McConnell. Why? I don't care. No. Anyway. Here's all the news fit to discuss on the porch this evening. You ready? On the front page this evening, America faces Belgium in the World Cup knockout match. The United States plays Belgium tonight in one of the biggest sporting events of the summer. A win sends the Americans to the quarterfinals against Spain after Spain eliminated Portugal earlier today. Yes. Soccer has captured unusual attention in the U.S. this World Cup, with television ratings continuing to climb. It's because we love having overnight guests from other countries that know how to respect our country. They've told them a bunch of bad stuff about America, and they go over here and they're like, this place is great. We're like, we told you so. It's fantastic. Come back again. Let's have another slumber party with our cousins from overseas. Wall Street begins earnings season. Get excited about that. Investors are watching the first major earnings report of the summer while also keeping an eye on interest rates and artificial intelligence spending. Markets were generally higher Monday as semiconductor and AI-related companies held lead gains. So, come, there will come a payday. Hallelujah, just a payday. That's what I think. So, Hello, good to see some home folk on here. Good to see you on the porch. Welcome. AI spending keeps reshaping big business. Major technology companies continue reorganizing around artificial intelligence, with more investment flowing into chips, cloud computing, and automation. Analysts say AI remains the dominant force driving corporate strategy in 2026. Like I said about 6 months ago, you can either ride this dragon or get burnt by it, but it's coming and it's here. Heat is still gripping parts of the United States, although some areas are finally cooling down after the Independence Day weekend. Thank God we had some rain in West Virginia, and it went from 105 to 75, and I ain't hating it. I'm loving it. I'm out here in my new house dress. I know. It makes me look super tan. Shut up. Okay, so anyway, dangerous heat continues in portions of the Southwest, while scattered thunderstorms remain common across Appalachia and the Southeast, and I'm here to testify I almost got struck by lightning right here. Thank God I was living right with the Lord. Because that could have been me. Instead, it was a tree across the creek, and I saw it, and it scared the cat, and it came running up under my feet, and it's been laying on me ever since. And now it's sunshiny outside. If you're watching this live on Facebook right now, then you see the sunshine behind me. If you're just listening to it on your radio, trust me, it is a pretty night. So, NATO leaders are preparing for a summit. Defense spending and security remain front and center as NATO officials gather this week. European leaders are expected to focus on long-term defense cooperation and regional stability. Well, it's about, as Lizzo would say, it's about damn time. So, get your shit together, NATO. All right, in America at the White House, the administration continues emphasizing economic growth and manufacturing while preparing for a busy political summer. We are headed towards midterms. Several policy announcements are expected ahead of the campaign season, which we now know because of the Supreme Court. There is no limit on their spending, so who knows what's going to happen. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. In the economy, job growth, not job growth, that's not a thing. Job growth has slowed compared with earlier this year. I attribute that to the heat. But unemployment remains relatively low considering economists, Sarah Beth, I can't even talk today. Economists are debating whether the slower pace could influence future interest rate decisions. Probably and likely, in my opinion. But, it's bouncing back a little bit at a time. I did notice it at the gas station and the grocery store today. It was not nearly as heavy as it was a couple weeks ago. So things are starting to ease up a hair. And we are starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Just keep the faith. In housing, mortgage rates remain elevated, keeping many first-time buyers on the sidelines. Inventory has improved slightly, but affordability remains a challenge in many markets. The median age for buying a new home at this point in time in history is 62 years old. So 3 years before you retire, you can finally afford to buy a house. Things should probably start swinging in the other direction anytime now, don't you think? In country music, the summer festival season is in full swing. Independent artists continue finding audiences without major labels, so take that. Industry insiders are already beginning to speculate about CMA and award season contenders later this year. My money's on Ella Langley across the board. She's on every station all the time, and I love it. Nashville continues seeing strong tourism during the summer concert season despite the heat. So, if you ain't been to Nashville yet, get on down there. In West Virginia, in West by God, Virginia, the place I'm calling home for the time being, whitewater rafting remains near its peak season. Get real excited about it if you're a whitewater rafter. State parks continue seeing strong attendance after the 4th of July weekend. It's just getting started. County fairs are beginning across the mountain state, and farmers are enjoying a productive growing season despite periodic heavy rain. I saw some beautiful zucchini at the farmer's market this past weekend. I encourage you to get out there and get some. In the farm report, chickens hate heat almost as much as people do. Let me say that again. Chickens hate the heat. Today's reminder, fresh water twice a day, plenty of shade. A frozen watermelon is a great afternoon treat. Gather eggs early before they overheat, or then sons of bucks will start incubating, and then you'll have blood spots in your eggs, and you'll get a little baby chicken in your frying pan, and nobody wants to see that at 7 o'clock in the morning during breakfast. In the garden report, my tomatoes should really begin to take off this week, and yours should too. Watch for hornworms, powdery mildew after the rain that we've had, and blossom end rot if watering has been inconsistent. So make sure you keep an eye on your produce if you are a gardener like me. If you are joining in later on this Thursday for the Feral Christian Bible Study, we'd like to give you a little verse of the day. This is going to be a new thing that we add. The verse of the today, I've been in Ephesians all day, so I wanted to share it with you. Walk worthy of the calling with which you were called, with all humility and gentleness, with patience, bearing with one another in love. In Ephesians 4, verse 1 and 2. If you haven't read Ephesians, I encourage you to get into it. Paul tells you who you belong to and how you should act, so I encourage it. Seems fitting after my Bible study today. I read the entire book twice. It's not very long. It's more like a pamphlet. It's like an epistle pamphlet. There is a bug up my dress. Sorry, I'm not digging for something. There was something crawling up my leg, and it was Granddaddy Long Leg, which if they had teeth would be the most poisonous spider in the whole wide world. That's why my Aunt Beth jumped through a screen door trying to get away from one back in 1989. Anyway, I told my rooster today that he was replaceable. He crowed over me before daylight to remind me otherwise. Leonard is absolutely wearing me out. They had Fruit Loops today for the first time, and you would have thought that it was their birthday. It was fantastic. Today I've learned a little bit of porch wisdom. You cannot choose comfort sometimes. Sometimes you have to do the hard stuff. Today I chose a bike ride, another walk, healthy groceries, took a little protein, had a Bible study. That's how your identity changes, one little habit, one little prayer, one little day at a time. If you're on the Porch Glow Up, watch for the SBT report. I'm trying to lose about 15 pounds in the next month. I'm doing it the right way. I'm drinking lots of waters. I am eating lots of proteins. And I am walking my happy ass all over the place. So I am up in my gym this week because you cannot be, you have to be a badass with a good ass, I have learned. So that's, that's kind of what I feel about it. If you're keeping up with history, on this day, on July 6th in 1189, Richard I, or otherwise known as Richard the Lionheart, became the King of England. Just wanted you to know that. On this day in 1885, Louis Pasteur administers his first successful rabies vaccine to a human patient. Life with raccoons has not been the same since. In 1942, Anne Frank and her family go into hiding in Amsterdam on this day. In 1957, Althea Gibson becomes the first black Wimbledon singles champion. Congratulations back then. And in 1994, Forrest Gump debuted in theaters. Holy crap, I feel old. Wow. Do you remember seeing it when it first came out? Do you remember your parents wouldn't let you watch the parts where Jenny was naked? You remember? Do you remember? Pepperidge Farms remembers. Anyway. But that's what's going on in the world. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods. If I had a syndicated TV show, that would be when the weather showed up. I was telling my mother that I'm online and I'll have to call her back. She would know this if she followed me, but she don't. Hello, Sonia, all the way down in Milton, Florida. Good to see you. Carla on the 2 CD soundtrack and played it on repeat for 6 months. Me too, girl. Me too. I cannot hear Fortunate Son without hearing a helicopter. I can't. Here's a little porch wisdom I'm trying to incorporate into every cigarette mom since people have been asking me for it. There is power on the porch. I have made real life friends because of it. Maybe you have too. The little thought I had over sweet tea this morning was you don't have to figure out your whole life today. You just have to do today's chores. Tomorrow has a whole different side of trouble itself. That's biblical. Just worry about today. Tends to be a farmer's rule that a fence doesn't have to be beautiful to keep the cows in. Your routines don't have to be perfect to keep your life together. Get it started. Little chicken lesson this afternoon. The loudest hen rarely laid the biggest egg. The people making the most noise usually aren't doing the most work. Cigarette mom says everybody wants a testimony until it's time to go through the test. Don't ask God for a harvest if you ain't ready to pull the weeds. Just a little food for thought. A feral Christian thought for you this evening. God rarely hands us a map. He usually hands us enough light for the next step. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. 1 step at a time, not 20. Little garden wisdom this evening. Roots tend to grow in the dark. Nobody applauds roots. Everybody applauds flowers. So don't confuse being unseen with being unproductive. You don't dig up a seed every day just to see if it's growing, do you? Don't do that. It won't grow. Little money wisdom for this Monday evening. If you can't afford it twice, sleep on it once. Something to keep in mind. Marriage wisdom that I have learned this week. Winning the argument usually costs more than losing it. Choose peace when you can. Choose truth when you must. Something from the stage this evening. People don't remember perfect. They remember honest. And if I'm not a living testament to that, I will kiss your ass and call you Shirley. In Appalachian Proverbs this evening, never trust a porch without rocking chairs. Never trust advice from somebody that's never had dirt under their fingernails. 1 year from now, you'll wish you had started today. Trust me on that. It's a good thing I did. At the end of the day, the mountain doesn't care how Sarah Beth, I wrote it down and they can't even say it. The mountain don't care how fast you climb it. It just notices that you kept climbing. So, keep that in mind when you're getting discouraged and wanting to go back to base camp. 1 step at a time. I'm trying to incorporate a little more sage and philosophical wisdom in here and just be like, here's your little fortune cookie and some proverbs and a thought to think about. Trying a new thing here on the porch. We're doing a little porch redecorating, if you will. Figure it's not going to do me no good to go to the tanning bed and burn my ass. I know. And, work out and eat right and try to get a little healthier for the path that I've been called on if I ain't willing to do it everywhere else. So I'm reading the Bible a little more. I'm thinking a little more. I'm writing a little more. I'm spending a little more time in my garden. Spend a little more time working on these podcasts that we all sit together and visit. They used to be kind of spur of the moment. Now I actually write down thoughts. I know. Who would have thought? I'm growing up. So if you notice a change in the several coming months of things that are different on the porch and different on the clips, that's for a reason. You can't see the testimony without the test, and I feel like we're fixing to go through it. So I'm glad you're here for it. I'm growing. Watch me go. Bill's late. Well, you're in charge of taking out the trash. So you volunteered. I'm so tickled that you joined us this evening. It's not a very long cigarette, Mom, but it was a cigarette, Mom, and I'm glad I got to see you. Give you a little bit of news and advice for the evening. Ask you if you're the praying kind to send a few up for me. I'm feeling a little sick to my stomach this week, and I think that's just because of the weather and because I'm going into perimenopause pretty strongly. And that's always a good time to start a new change of life and scenery and diet. You know, I don't know if it's me or if it's the protein bars. It could be both. I don't know. I'm 17 grams short of what I need to eat today, so I'm thinking I might need to go in there and make me a chicken breast. It's not a specific diet. It's just I eat like shit because I'm on the road all the time. So I'm like, if I make myself start eating better while I'm home, maybe I'll pack a lunch. Cats don't get me started. I laid up my kiddie pool naked for 2 days over the heat wave this weekend. I feel sorry for the drones and the paragliders that went over top because I just waved. I don't care. If you care enough to look at me, then enjoy what you see. I don't care. But I did get a little burn on me, so I went to the tan bed to even out my rear end. So, if you are new to the porch, we welcome you. We'll teach you the handshake later. If you're a repeat offender, we welcome you back. If you see somebody from the same state, same area that you're from, send them a friend request. Meet for coffee. Start your own porch. There is power on the porch. I have met the best people in the past 6 months because of this porch. And we actually meet in real life, and we go junk, and we hang out for 4th of July, and we drink L8s on the porch, and we go over the Bible studies together. I'm telling you. And if you want to see me live and in person, you can get on sarahbetterry.com and look at the tickets. I have a lot of things coming up starting July the 17th. We're busy about every single weekend until September, so there's no reason why you can't come and hang out with us. And if we're not in the neck of the woods near you, then call us or hit that Book Me Now thing on my website, and we'll come to wherever you are. We'll teach you the handshake heart. It's very complicated. There's a dance, and there's a song, and cheer. That's a good idea, Bill. I'm going to go in there and hard boil me about a dozen eggs this evening to keep in there for a quick snack if my protein gets low. I just love getting to visit with y'all. Thank you all for subscribing to the podcast. Thank you all for listening on the RSS channels and the podcast channels. We are on there now, Cigarette Mom and the Feral Christian. Thanks for getting on YouTube and watching those channels and Instagram and TikTok and wherever else you can find me. I don't even know. iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon. I'm everywhere. And I appreciate it very, very much. And we do have the Feral Christian page up now. So if you're just looking for a little bit of wisdom on your day and a little message from the Lord, then it's right there. So it's all in one place at one time. So I'm excited about it. I'm doing the best I can with what God gave me, and I'm just taking it day at a time. We'll see what happens tomorrow. In the meantime, keep your Bibles open, your powder dry, and your head on a swivel, because people are acting crazy this day and age. Be nice to old people, animals, and children. Make sure they have water and shade. It is awful hot outside. Try to love your neighbor, and if you can't, try to give it to God. He told you to love your neighbor. He didn't say nothing about liking them, right? He loves you and I do too, friends, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Until we see each other again, remember, I'm Sarah Beth Terry, and you're not. Get